and welcome. I'm Jaya Sinha, and today we are going to talk about animation. Today we are joined by a very special guest all over from Vancouver, Canada, Mr. Harinarayan Rajeev. Harinarayan Rajeev is a very senior animator who has covered a very long journey from India to Hollywood, and you have seen his magic in a lot of blockbuster movies. Welcome, Harinarayan, and he goes by name Hari Cool in the virtual world. So today we're going to call him Hari. Welcome, Hari, for this special broadcast. Let's start with the very first question. How did you venture in this industry, in this animation world?
Absolutely. It was during my school days, and we grew up watching Cartoon Network. So I was like a huge fan of a lot of the cartoons at that time, like Courage the Cowardly Dog or Dexter's Laboratory. I used to play a lot of games. And also Jurassic Park played a huge role. But I never knew I would take it as a career because I used to really love all these things like watching cartoons, movies and games. But then right after, I think when I was in my 12th standard, that's when I realized, okay, what will I do next? And then I kind of told my parents, okay, I want to do something related to this. And exactly at the same time, I saw an advertisement from Toons Animation India. It's a studio. It's a very famous animation studio in India, based in Trivandrum in Kerala.
Okay.
So they also have an animation academy. So they had an ad. So right when I was thinking, what will I do after 12th and how will I enter into this kind of an industry, they had an ad to their academy inviting applicants. And right when I saw that, I told my parents were from academic background, still they were completely fine, with me going into a field which they had no idea if I will ever get a job. I told them I want to do this. They said, okay, fine, go for it. And that was a very pivotal moment. So even though cartoons and movies were all the main reason I wanted to enter the industry, getting an opportunity to learn it from Toons, that played a huge role. And after studying in Toons, they have an animation studio. So from the academy, they grabbed me, they absorbed me into their animation studio. And that's where my journey started.
Okay, from Kerala to Hollywood, there are a lot of comparisons. There's always been comparison with Indian film industry and Hollywood film industry. All of us look towards the Hollywood and their technique, how they are so advanced. So share your insights about your journey from Kerala to Hollywood.
Exactly. So what you said is the word when I first saw this is something I need to tell you. When I first saw Jurassic, my father took me to watch Jurassic Park. After the movie is finished, he could not stand up. He told me we are at least 50 years behind them.
Yes.
So which was really shocking to me because I was a kid at that time and I was like, who are them? How can we be behind? And then it stayed with me. What can I do to reduce the distance? I don't know who the them are, but we cannot be behind anyone, right? So that's one of the main reasons behind my journey because I need to reduce the distance. So from Kerala, I started from Toons. I went to Mumbai. I worked on two of the major studios at that time. They're called Crust and Prana. And from there, I moved back to Bangalore because at that time, DreamWorks Animation had a division in India. So I used to work there for some time. And then I moved to UK for Industrial Light and Magic in London. And from there, I went to Montreal. I worked on a couple of studios there. And then I moved to Vancouver. In between, I had also, so this is something I understood when I was working in DreamWorks Bangalore. We had an opportunity to visit the US office. That's when I understood the advantage of the time zone. When you work in the same time zone as the filmmakers, there's a huge advantage. If the filmmakers in US, they like to work mostly with people who are almost in the same time zone, but in India we are almost in the next day. So that is one of the biggest limitations we had at that time, when we work from India. Skill sets wise, we all are extremely talented people. We can do what anyone else can do, but I understood that the only limitation if we work as a vendor is the time zone. And because even them, the studios in the other time zones, they have some difficulties sending their complicated shots or the stuff. When you watch a movie, you'll see some shot and say, "Wow, how," those kind of shots. They tend to keep it in their own time zone. That way, the filmmakers can directly or easily communicate with the team. So that was one of the reason when I decided, okay, fine. When I came back, okay, maybe I need to start moving closer to those time zone, and I moved to UK because of that, and then I moved closer to Hollywood, which is like Montreal or Vancouver.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Hari, so you talk about the inspirations, you know. Watching Jurassic Park as a kid was a big inspiration, but the major challenges, what you will say, matching up with the time zone or making your space there or making them believe or realize that a person from India can match their standards, you know. So what were the major challenges in your path?
So animation this is something which most people don't know. Animation is one of the most complicated art forms in the world because animation industry has different, like for example, CG animation, computer graphics has different branches. One is feature animation, then there is visual effects, then there is gaming, and then there is VR and AR. So CG animation are some movies like Kung Fu Panda, Trolls, all those kind of stuff. Those movies are called feature animations. Then there is visual effects. Visual effects are movies like Avengers or like Lion King. So Lion King may not be a perfect example, but movies where they shot footage and then we incorporate the CG characters into that. So those kind of movies are the visual effects. So I work in both VFX and feature animation. And the difficulty is that you need to know anything and everything around us, from acting, composition, storytelling. Like if I'm animating a lion, I need to know everything about a lion. And in the next show, I might be animating a bird. So I need to know how the body mechanics of the bird functions. Like, I mean, how many flaps, like everything in detail we need to know. And if you are working in feature animation, there's one more complexity. So Indian acting is very different to Western acting. We need to understand Western acting. We need to understand how they move, how they react, like how their mannerisms. We need to study that and then act. So it's one of the high. That's why I say like not everyone can do that. So and that became like our drive. Like, okay, fine, this is so difficult. Let's put 200% of hours and then try to master it. And then it became a journey. Like, I mean, even now, even after almost 18 years, I can tell you, like, no one can say we have mastered animation. Because even within the animation industry, animation is one of the most complicated because we need to have an understanding almost everything from filmmaking, storytelling, like I told you. So that is the biggest challenge. Like time zones and stuff like that, those are actually I would say a secondary level complications. The primary level complications is the art or the skill set behind it. In fact, most people, they don't know how computer animations are made. They think we type it in and it just creates. No, we are manually handcrafting inside the computer. Computer and the softwares are just tools. Like everything else is the skill set of the animator.
Great, great, absolutely. So having contributed to global blockbusters like Jurassic Park or Spider-Man, what was the most exciting or challenging project till date you have worked, and how it changed your experience, your life, and your style of working, and you learned so much from that?
Yeah, so I haven't worked on Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was my inspiration. I was a kid at that time. But this is the most, something happened, which is like one of the monumental experience of my career was that eventually in UK ILM, when I was working for Ready Player One, I got to work with Spielberg himself for almost an year.
Great.
And yeah, so the reason why I came into the industry was Jurassic Park. And then I got an opportunity to work with him for an year on a movie called Ready Player One. And that I also was one of the most challenging shows I worked on even now, because there is a really complicated chase sequence which we designed, like not just animation, we were also doing the camera, and one of the most memorable sequence I was able to contribute in that movie. And in that there was a T-Rex, a dinosaur, which I was able to present to Spielberg himself. Wow. So that was like really, like, I still can't believe that happened.
Absolutely a dream come true, working with Steven Spielberg. Do you remember your first meeting, your first interaction with him?
No, we don't. As animators, we don't meet them directly. Everything is through the recordings, like
it's
this.
Also
like
in virtual world.
They've been there on time zones. Like we never, very rarely we get to meet. If you're in feature animation, we normally we can directly work with the directors. If not, we don't get to meet them in person.
Okay, but he saw your work and the appreciation do came.
That's how we work. We create our stuff based on his vision, and then we present it to him, and then the best moments were him commenting on our work on that too on for 1 year on almost like a weekly basis. We were getting reviews from him. That was like not just a great experience. It was also a learning experience. Like we learned, and in that 1 year, I got so much experience from him. So yeah, I can't believe that happened.
Okay, let's back home. Indian films are making their mark on the world arena.
Yeah.
We are participating and winning in almost all the prestigious film festivals around the world. So, talking about the animation scene in India, what do you have to say about that? Are you able to watch any movies over here, and what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so and it's growing at a very fast rate because if you look at a lot of the Hollywood movie these days, a huge chunk is actually done in India these days. Like I mean, even though like I told you, we have complexities related to time zone difference and stuff like that. Certain departments, a huge chunk is being done in India right now, and the same artists can use that skill set for Indian movies as well. But one small limitation I noticed is that we also need our filmmakers to be visionaries because at the end of the day, our job is to help bring their vision to life. So we have like amazing, fantastic filmmakers like Rajamouli who made RRR. No, like when we have more filmmakers like that, more CG artists from India can show their skill sets because the director's vision is something which we like to follow. So it's very important that they have that strong vision.
Okay. Hari, but do you see Indian animation scene or Indian filmmaking evolving and progressing and trying to match up with these standards, international standards?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at the quality, how it's rising up, it's phenomenal how fast we are growing. The industry is growing. Like I mean, but one challenge I'm seeing is that visual effects industry is the one that is mostly growing. When it comes to feature animation in India, most people still think it's for children, cartoons. It's for children. So that unless that mindset changes, the people will not be confident enough to invest in animated movies because they're extremely expensive and time consuming. So if someone comes, if the producers have the confidence that okay, if I make a animated movie in India and people will watch it, then they will invest money in that, and we can, as animators, we can contribute to that. But right now, still our audience, I don't know if how accepting they are of animated movies. If we release a good movie, will they go and watch it in cinema? But compared to West, where it's like a family event. If an animated movie gets released, it's everyone will go. Even adults who doesn't have children, they will go and watch an animated movie. So if that and as people change, I have a strong feeling like we can also start seeing better animated movies in India.
Definitely, absolutely. But what potential do you see right now for India to become a global leader in talk about animation, VFX? Any recent film you have watched and you really liked it recently? Brahmastra Part 1 won a national award for its VFX, and I spoke to them. They had a really grueling experience creating those effects on screen.
Exactly. So that's what we should be doing more because we should start concentrating on our own content. Like we have so much stories to tell, and we also have like a huge customer base. Like I mean, we are one of the most populated countries in the world. So that's actually an opportunity. Like we have so much people if you make a good content, we have customers who are willing to purchase tickets. So if you make a good product, there's always a market for it, and I think this is like the golden age for like VFX or animation. I mean VFX especially in India. Like I said, like RRR, how global it went. A movie we made in India, like it went so global, and it also inspires the newer generation to start making newer and better movies.
What advice or message you like to give to the young animators, those budding artists who really want to make their mark in this field?
So first of all, like I told you, this is a very difficult industry. Like I mean, I know a lot of people who message me in like Instagram and ask, "Hey, how much money you get?" or and I tell them like, I mean, you should only come into this industry if you're passionate about it. You should love movies. You should love cartoons. And then money recognition. These are all stuff that should follow. Like you should not follow that. If you like, that's what most of us who started animation. Right now, I'm speaking as a representative of most of the animators who followed the same path path as me. Like I'm just talking on behalf of them. And almost like 18, 20 years ago, almost most of us when we came in, we never even knew if we will get a job when we study this. We were extremely passionate about this industry. We wanted to learn this. We want to make great movies, and then we got job. Then we got all these opportunities, and that's exactly what I advise the newer generation as well. You should come in only if you like movies, and you should love movies. You should like what you're doing, and then this is a great industry, because even though there are so many animators around us, there are only very few people who are good, who can actually do great work. There's a difference between good animation and great animation, and that requires a lot of like hard work and dedication, perseverance, all those stuffs. So yeah,
absolutely. The Prime Minister is talking about self-reliance and talking about cinema. He has called cinema India's soft power. There are a lot of emphasis on making it a global market to reach global production houses. We are saying, come, make in India, shoot in India. So what do you see, how can the animation sector in India support this vision and expand its global influence?
so first of all, we have an amazing group of talented people. So our people are our strength, right? So I mean, we can do. There used to be a time like when I started off, a lot of the TV shows around the world were done in India, and the reason why that was happening was because they were able to get it done at a lower rate. But now it's not just lower rates. Like we have some of the best talented animators or artists or visual effects people in the world. So and not only can we give like to help Hollywood or any other movie industries in the world, but we can also help our industry. So like I told you before, when we create more movies from India for the global audience, our animators can actually play a huge role in helping them not just get it delivered, but also with the highest quality possible.
Definitely. So made in India and made by Indians, this is noticed all around the world. What was your feeling when Prime Minister Narendra Modi mentioned you in his October's address of Man Ki Baat?
I was actually shocked because like I never heard about like any CG artist anywhere in the world getting recognized by their prime ministers or presidents. And so when Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced my name, my cousin actually called me and told me, and I was like, oh my God, like that's a huge recognition. I mean, I still can't believe it, but I can tell you the advantage it had. Like so many people encouraged to me like how I want to be an animator. The people did not even knew there was like an industry called animation in India, and it gave way for like it was like a huge eye-opening experience for a lot of people. So I myself was able to explain to them, okay, how to come to this industry, and like I mean, and that India is really growing in this sector. So what he did not only helped the current animators, but also animators who want to come into the industry, and eventually it's going to benefit the country.
Definitely. You are constantly learning. You are reinventing. There's new innovation, new technology coming every second. So how do you prepare yourself, and from where you get that zeal to work more and more, imagine, reinvent, revolve every day?
Yeah, so that is another one, a good thing you pointed out, because that's another really good quality we need, like adaptability. Like not just in animation, moving ahead, we are living in a part of human evolution where things are changing on an exceptionally fast rate. So the number one quality what we need is the ability to change, to adapt to changes. And not just that, taking risks. The word risk is also different now, because sometimes things that you fear, you will have to do it. If not, you will get outdated. So the technology right now, everyone is talking about AI, like how will it cause disruptions to the job? And I tell everyone like art or jobs related to art will be the last thing to get replaced by AI, because what we are going to watch when we go to watch a movie, we are going to see the human experience, right? Like I mean, it was made by humans for humans. So I tell them you don't have to worry about AI replacing your job, at least in this industry, but it will make our jobs faster. And if you are inefficient and if you cannot adapt to change, then you might get outdated, and then you may not be able to be in the race. So you need to have that quality to adapt to changes. You should always be on the lookout for changes in the industry change. And also if you're an animator especially, learning is part of our job. Observation and learning, like I mean, so yeah, we will have eventually with time we will get used to it.
Okay.
But yeah, it is a challenge, and that's the fun of it.
Yeah. So we have film stars, people who are working in front of camera are getting that recognition but
Yeah.
now people working behind the camera, the real magicians, the real technicians are getting that long due recognition which you have got after Prime Minister Narendra Modi mentioned you. What were the reactions of your family, friends? They knew that you're going to you be there?
I mean, absolutely no one. Like, I mean, that was the shocking part. I mean, for some time, none of us could believe it. But then, when it came in YouTube, that's when we believed, okay, maybe this is true. So it was like a really one of the greatest moments of my life. Not just my life, but of everyone around us. And not just that. Like I told you, I was just like a representative of all the animators and visual effects people. So even they, when he recognized me, he was actually recognizing the entire animation visual effects community. So and it's like a huge thanks to him, because it had a huge impact. It created a lot of noise, like people know about the industry right now. So yeah.
Hari, we would also like to know about your experience in working in Transformers or in other movies in Hollywood.
Yeah, so I had an opportunity to work with a lot of like some iconic movies, I would say. So whether it was like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse or like Transformers: Rise of the Beast, like Venom 2. Like recently, I finished House of the Dragons. I animated a lot of shots of the Vormithor, and then Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Ready Player One, Kung Fu Panda 3. There's so many iconic movies I was able to work on. But recently, like I supervised Transformers: Rise of the Beast, and I had even though I was supervising from Vancouver, I had a team in Montreal and in India. So like that was a great opportunity for me to work with some of so in Montreal it was like a team of animators from around the world, so like a global team of animators. And in India, like in Bangalore, I had a team of like a lot of really talented animators, and I got to get it done. A lot of really cool, complicated shots. I was able to get it done from the Bangalore team. So that was a really good experience. And then yeah, so these are some of the shows I recently contributed to.
Hari, now if you want to resolve to make India the global powerhouse for animation, what's your final word on that? How can we move forward in that direction?
Yeah, it's actually knowledge. For example, if you work, this is something I understood. If you work with someone who has like 20 or 30 years of experience, immediately you're gaining 5 to 10 years of experience in an year. That's something I understood from my career. Like sometimes you could work for like 10 years, 20 years, but if you're not getting that knowledge, then you cannot grow further. But now the advantage is that we have so many like talented animators and filmmakers around working around the world and even in India, who will be able to share their knowledge with the junior generation. That way, we can keep on improving the quality. Previously, like if we are after quantity, now we are in a stage where we are able to use all this knowledge we gained to improve the quality. And then, so most people, they see like when I see some movies and they say, why can't it make it? Why can't it look like a Hollywood movie? So the difference between a movie that doesn't look good and a movie looks great is the knowledge. So even if you have all the money in the world, if you don't know where to put it, then it makes no sense. So if you have good knowledge, then even if you have limited money and limited resources, you can make a great product. So that's something I understood from my experience, and that's what I want to do in the future, like share my knowledge and also make, if possible, make movies in India, where I can work with the filmmakers in India or the animators in India and create a product that can travel globally.
So thank you so much, Hari, for joining us for this special segment. So as Hari says, knowledge and passion, that's what you need to make it big in the industry of VFX or animation. And very soon, India is going to become the global powerhouse of animation. Thank you again, Hari, for joining us. Thank you.